You've got to be kidding me. Jim and Frank's Thursday Throwdown is more popular than my podcast.
Hey, Jim, it's Thursday.
I know what that means.
That means I'm recording, and it's time for a throwdown.
It's time for a throwdown, man.
And we got a special guest.
We do. Mr. Jeffery Brenneman with us tonight. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, good to see you. Thank you for inviting me to this. I'm really excited for this. And from a guy that's watching you guys all the time to a guy that's sitting in the hot seat, I'm just elated. Thank you guys.
Oh, man. Not so much a throwdown in the general way that we normally do it. Here we have a four-way tussle. Four-way
a battle royale.
Battle royale. I like that. Yeah. Let's take it to
I'm not even a wrestling fan.
And I feel bad because I am, and I still didn't think of that. 1970, we've got 4 ex-Beatles. They put a record out, each of them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, shall we?
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go in chronological order as they came out. Starting in March of 1970, Sentimental Journey by Ringo Starr.
Ooh, I got that record.
Do you? There you go.
I visited this place 2 years ago in Liverpool.
It still stands.
It looks different, but yeah, it's got Ringo's face all over it on the side
okay.
now.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so cool.
So all the Beatles are encouraging Ringo to put a solo record out. And this is while the Beatles were still the Beatles. And I read today his mother said, Ringo, you've got such a lovely voice. I would love for you to put a record out. And he was talking about some big band music that he loved and grew up with. And this is what this record is. It is an album of covers.
An homage, if you will.
If you will, there you go. Produced by George Martin.
A familiar name.
Yes. Peaked at number 22 at that time. But yet
Not too
was
shabby.
not too
That's
shabby.
respectable. Respectable
Yes.
for a drummer.
And it wasn't really wasn't really well received by the critics. I think they thought it was a little lazy because he didn't write his own material. But
Yeah.
Jim, what's your take on the record?
I like the cover. It looks great.
Good place to start.
Good place to start. So it's all covers.
Speaking of
I
cover.
won't say, I won't say they're super faithful to versions we've heard before.
Right.
I think they're all good versions. I think they, with the help of George Martin, they kind of made it their own, more or less. Solid, but I wouldn't point at any of those versions as sort of the definitive versions of those songs.
It's
I think
Ringo.
they were done better by other people,
Sure.
right? And I guess Jeff said drummer, and when you think about some of those big band drummers, I'm sure Ringo picked up a lot from those guys,
Right.
in his own style, which is probably why he leaned towards a lot of those things, probably like stuff that influenced him that he grew up with. But is it a good record? Yeah, it's a good record. Well produced, I think. Well arranged.
One thing about Ringo, he's not going to offend you with his voice.
No,
You know what you're getting, and you know what his range is. And Ringo doesn't stray too far out of his range.
yeah. That being said, I don't know that I need to revisit it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Once or twice is enough for that, I think.
There you go. Jeff, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree with Jim. I do think it's a fun listen. And one thing that I do like about it, I think it really demonstrates his personality. Like, I think his personality really shines in the record. He's Ringo. Like you guys said, you know what to expect with Ringo. I'm glad that I own it, even though I don't play it. I'm glad that I own the record. Yeah, it's not something I listen to often. I think if I had to have a favorite, I like Bye Bye Blackbird, his version of Bye Bye Blackbird.
Very good.
Which was arranged by Maurice Gibb.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
A Bee Gee. Yeah.
Nice
yeah.
little tidbit.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
BG and kind of a musical genius.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and his brothers were great songwriters and arrangers.
Yeah.
Their harmonies
Absolutely.
were just amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, here we have George Martin producing this thing. And with all four records, there seems to be it all kept in the family, even though there are four solo guys now. None of them stray too far out of the family tree. We got Billy Preston, and John's on one guy's record, and here's George on another guy's record, and all except for Paul.
Mhm.
We'll talk about him when we get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Klaus Vormann plays bass on this record, and I think he also arranged one of the tracks too.
Yes.
I'm a Fool to Care. I have a little picture up here that he hand signed. So
Wow.
Oh, very
cool
cool.
is that?
yeah, it's an alternate take of the Revolver cover, which Klaus Vormann drew.
There you go. Very interesting.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of connections. Same
Yeah.
record label
Right.
for all of these.
There you
Apple.
go. Let's move on to April 1970 and
A couple
Mr.
months later.
Yep, Paul McCartney.
Well, wait a minute. This is a little cop out. You gonna give us your Ringo take or no?
Oh, I'm a one and done on the re-listen.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with if I'm listening to Abbey Road. I don't need to listen to Octopus's Garden every time I listen to Abbey Road. I already know what I'm getting.
Sure.
And that's how it is with Ringo. Now, Jeff and I at different times went and saw his All-Star Band live. Fun concert.
Yes.
I'll go back and see that if he's still around to do it again. But to listen to an album of covers, I prefer the album Ringo or some of the older ones that he did,
Right.
his live stuff that had stuff that John wrote and different things. I'm the Greatest and things like that. Those albums shine. This seemed like something I'm thinking he did for his mom. It's like, you wanted to hear these, the family wanted to hear these, here we go. I love these songs. This is more for a personal consumption than if anybody else wants to jump on, fine.
I'll cut him some slack for that.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta listen to mom.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No argument there.
Agreed.
So let's go out to the farm and check on McCartney and his one-man band.
There we
you
go.
Gatefold.
Gatefold, yeah. They spared no expense back in the day, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Paul picking his nose and his beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Linda's on this record. Jim and I had talked about this in the past, that the love affair that those two had is, you can only be envious of it. The love that those two shared. And
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, joined at the hip.
yeah.
Always.
That would be something, Every Night, and Maybe I'm Amazed were the singles off this record. And there's 3, maybe 4 instrumentals, if that. Yeah. Okay. Jeff, go ahead. Let your face do the talking.
Yeah. Side 2.
Right.
Besides, maybe
Yeah.
I'm amazed.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
fantastic song.
yeah. Side 2, Mama Miss America. I really almost despise that song.
Wow.
I mean, it rambles on
Right.
too much, and Sing Along Junk. Why?
Right.
I mean, you side 1, you got it with the vocals. When you leave out the vocals, I'm thinking you somebody messed up this mix. Like,
Yeah.
where are those vocals? And the last instrumental, I think, is kind of okay. Crean Acroy. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's a little bit, and I would say a little bit experimental. But I mean, side 1 definitely feels like it's just me. I'm just gonna turn on a tape recorder and do my thing.
Right.
It does feel to me like it's one guy doing everything, which it is. I prefer to have like a band that can contribute, even if it's Paul McCartney
Right.
and having a bunch of guys behind him that can like feed off of his energy and put out some of their own energy. So that's one thing that I don't like about it. But I'm all in for side one. Like,
Right.
I mean, I don't think anything is great, but I kind of like the feel of it. It feels like a guy. I mean, he's the guy that, like me nowadays, that's sitting in my bedroom making some music.
Right.
It felt like he was one of the first to do
Well,
that.
it started recording mid '69 and then finished, early 1970. But yet it feels like a rushed effort to me because it seems like a bunch of incomplete tunes. Um, they just kind of tail off and just stop.
It's almost demos or ideas, right?
Right.
And
And I'm wondering if that was the thing. Well, Ringo's got an album out, so I better put something out, and better before these other two clowns put something out, I better have. I don't know. What about you, Jim? How do you feel about the record?
Yeah, I think both of you have kind of summed it up. And it was kind of largely panned when it came out
Hmm.
because it sounded like just demos, like nothing was finished, with the exception of Maybe I'm Amazed, which
Oh, what a song, right?
he still plays it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, live.
people go
Um,
crazy.
and people
Hmm.
go crazy. And it to me, it's the song that sounds most finished. It's the best produced song on the record. Um, sounds like it could be on any Beatles record.
Right.
Um, but overall, just kind of a disappointing. You know how I am about not finishing
Right.
the song, right?
Exactly.
Uh, find an ending to it and make it end. Don't.
What's interesting to me is when we were young, you had a record, you put it down, and you sat down and you listened to the whole damn thing because you're not going to get up and keep moving the needle. You're listening to it.
Sure.
This album is tailor made for kids today. Skip, skip,
Yeah.
skip, because you don't need to listen to a lot of the rambling in between. It's
There's
unfortunate.
a lot of rambling on this record.
Yeah. All right.
Great
How
album
about-
cover though,
Love the album
and the
cover.
gatefold's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think that's Hypnosis
Oh,
cover, if I'm not wrong. But
I'd be willing to bet you're right, Jim.
Yep. Yep. Let's move on to all the way to November. And now let's do a triple whammy. And George Harrison, All Things Must Pass. There you go.
yeah,
This is an album I think of. I'm going to show you what you didn't let me do for the last 10 years,
yeah, no joke.
right? George's sound, undeniable. Guitar playing, undeniable. His writing style. And what's so odd about all four of these records, they each sound so individual, so unique, vocally, musically, the whole bit, and yet the four of them were the Beatles, and they sounded so different.
Yeah,
It's amazing when you take away the other three parts of the ingredient, what you get. And have
yeah, it doesn't sound like the Beatles,
no.
except for Maybe I'm Amazed, which sounds like it could be on a Beatles record.
I was talking to my son Dominic about this the other day. He said maybe I'm amazed, and I forget one other song that came out after McCartney. He said as a kid he would hear that and still think it was a Beatles song.
And still think it was the Beatles, right?
Right. And I'm right there with maybe I'm amazed. When I first heard it, I thought, where was this jam? How come I didn't?
I know. What album is this on? How did I
Right.
miss this?
Right. But All Things Must Pass, produced by George and Phil Spector. Man, do we need the big wall of sound for George Harrison on his records? What do you think, Jeff?
I don't think it fits. In my opinion. I mean, unless you're trying to say "My Sweet Lord" is a copy of an older song that needed a wall of sound, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, there's three things that irk me about this album. I love the album,
Right.
but to get those out of the way, the production, I don't like the echoey feedback, bounce back
Right.
that he has, because I think he's got a very, very warm feeling to his songs, and his
Right.
voice and his guitar playing and everything about him is very comforting to me, and that's kind of throws me off. So yeah, the production is kind of an issue. I think maybe he was thinking, all right, you guys have an album. There's one for you, one for you, one for you.
Maybe.
Me alone, I'm gonna do three, and I'm equal to the three of you put together. Um,
Good,
but
good thought. Yeah.
yeah, the third album,
Right.
I think he's just rambling.
And you wonder why. Did he feel like he had one shot and he had to take it and no one was going to listen to him after this, or was it all bottled up for so long that he had to get it out?
I mean, he had been writing songs this whole time that he was kind of not allowed to participate. Isn't that right,
Right.
Jim? It wasn't like they would allow him maybe one or two songs here or there, and I think
Per record, yeah. And some of my favorite songs, George Harrison
Right.
songs.
me too.
Not to stray too much, but would you say "Here Comes the Sun"? Is that maybe one of the biggest Beatles songs of all time?
One of their best.
It's one of my favorites.
I read the other day that it is the most covered Beatles song ever.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
I could
Probably
believe
that and Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some fantastic songs along the way, but for the guy that only had one or two songs per record to have probably the most identifiable as a Beatles tune, that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. They're not throwaway tracks
no.
by any means.
What were your thoughts, Jim, on a triple George Harrison record?
Well, 3 albums was a little much, I think. I don't know that it all stands up per se.
Right.
Uh,
My Sweet Lord.
would have made a good album and a half, maybe.
No, I like
Good.
that idea.
We could have
An album and an EP to follow.
an album and an
Yeah.
EP, I think,
They
would have
did that.
summed it up, right?
Yeah.
Apple did that kind of stuff. Why not?
Right.
Why
Yeah,
not?
why not?
Yeah.
Now, having said that, um, out of all 4 solo records, my favorite songs probably come off of this album.
Okay. There's a
Also,
lot-
I was just thinking, like, if you're Phil Spector and you're producing this record, and when you get to My Sweet Lord, like your ears don't perk up and think like, I've heard this before somewhere. I just had to look it up. He did not produce the chiffons, but
yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
he had to know the
but it's
song.
clear they were going for a Phil Spector sound on that
Right.
on that
big
particular
sound.
single.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seems kind of odd. But I can remember as a kid, literally in 1970, hearing My Sweet Lord on the radio.
All the time. Yeah.
What is Life all the time. All the time.
Love that song.
What is Life is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Right.
It's a great
I just
song.
get it out there.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There are. I've always enjoyed George Harrison's solo career, but the main tracks that you hear over and over from All Things Was Past are his best. Just fantastic tunes.
Yeah.
What is Life? Oh, yeah.
What a great lick.
Right.
Opening riff, just fantastic.
And I'm like
And the
Jeff.
production's just great all the way through. I mean, the arrangement, just wonderful.
Yep. And I'm right there with Jeff. I don't need the third record. It's a little
Yeah.
much, and it would have been a great bonus thing after the fact, or if there was a record store day back then.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, as a kid, it could have been released as All Things Must Pass leftovers, right?
Yep.
Something like that. And it would have sold out.
It would have. It would have. Okay, let's move on to the end of the year. It's December, and now John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. Man, this is raw. Again, produced by John, Yoko, and Phil Spector.
There it is.
There it is. This is such a raw record, and as smooth and silky as George Harrison's vocals are, John's are right in your face and full of pain.
Cynical.
Well, John was always the cynical one, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he always the more negative Nelly of the band?
Yeah, I think so, but yeah, it really stands out on this one to me. I think you're right, Jim. I mean, from the opening track, Mother, I mean, emotionally, there's just so much going on,
Right.
but songs like God, like, um, he doesn't like anything at that point. Not even
No.
not even the Beatles, not even Dylan,
Right.
not even Jesus, not Buddha.
He's
Like,
telling you.
Well, I think when he was in the Beatles, a lot of that kind of cynicism came off as sort of an affectation, right? Like it was part of his sense of humor. That's kind of
Right.
sarcasm.
Either you got it or
Um,
you didn't.
Right.
Right.
Um, but it seems very real and palpable on this record.
Yeah.
with the Beatles, I think his kind of cynicism was offset by like maybe like Paul's optimism, Ringo's goofiness.
Some of those songs where they trade lyrics off, you get that. Paul's being optimistic, and then here comes John with his downer.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think he had three other guys plus George Martin kind of editing him. So that probably makes a big difference, right? Like I could just see Paul just, why you got to be such a downer all the time?
Well, I'm thinking of Try to See It My Way. Paul's trying to, work it out and get everything together, and here comes John. Life is very short, and there's no time. It's like, wow, for fussing and fighting. Okay, I don't know. I think he let it all out on this record.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
It's a therapy record, I think, for John at this point.
Agree.
Yeah.
Tough listen for me.
Yeah. And I'm showing only Mother was an actual single, even though we heard a lot more of those songs on the radio.
That's not an easy song to listen to.
No. Again, you're right off the bat, you're dealing with a man who's in pain, who does not understand, and wasn't he raised by his aunt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's tough.
Yeah. And I mean, even the album even closes out with My Mummy's Dead. So he starts with Mother and ends with My Mummy's Dead.
Yeah. And a lot of stuff in between.
A lot of stuff in between. Yeah. Some of it, I feel like with Working Class Hero, I feel like he's coming down off of this Beatlemania, right?
Mm-hmm.
And huge. And he's living is he in New York at this point? Maybe before New York,
right before, I think. Yeah,
I would think right before, but I don't know.
So I feel like he's like, all that stuff is nonsense, right? I mean, he got to the point where he's like, the Beatles were just a band. We're just a band, just a rock band,
right?
And I'm just a guy. I think that's. I mean, I said like, he doesn't like the Beatles. He doesn't like Dylan when he's talking in God. But really, I think what he's saying is, I'm just John. You put all this stuff on pedestals, but it's just me and Yoko.
I don't care what he said in Glass Onion. He was the walrus. That's all there is to it. All right, Jim, let's do this. Let's go 1 to 4. 1 being your favorite, 4 being your least favorite. Let's have it.
In spite of the lack of editing, I'm going to say All Things Must Pass is my favorite of the 4.
Okay.
I'll go with McCartney next. Then probably John, and I'm sorry, but poor Ringo's down in the basement of that nice tall building.
So you're going George, Paul, John, and Ringo.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, what about you?
Exactly the same.
Really?
It's exactly the same. Yeah.
I'm in good company then.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know. or we're both we're both bad company with each other. But
yeah, or Frank's about to tell us we're wrong. So
yeah. Correct us, Frank.
I wish I could, but I'm looking at it, and you guys are spot on. All Things Must Pass. McCartney. Then and John and Ringo could be interchangeable, but if the fact that it's all cover tunes and it's not really music I really love, it's not
Yeah.
my era. So it's got John and then Ringo. Yeah.
I will say that if McCartney didn't have Maybe I'm Amazed, I'd probably flip flop the John and McCartney.
You're spot on.
record.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same.
I
As much as it's hard to listen to that record, I mean, it's a well done record.
Yeah. I admit that, again, these are not the big band tunes are not my thing, but I enjoy Ringo just is a good time.
Yeah.
He's just, like I say, so unoffensive with his vocals. So I love his older stuff or newer stuff, I guess you would say. But yeah, for this album, sorry, he's at the bottom.
So
Yeah.
if John brings us down emotionally, Ringo lifts us up.
There you go.
I agree. All right. Well, I do want to recap because we have Billy Preston, we have Phil Spector, we have a few other people that played on Beatles records. They all come around and they all help out. They're keeping it in the family.
Yeah, I like that.
I do too. And what's so amazing is each record is so different. You have every personality pop up on their own record.
I don't think you listen to any of this and say like, oh, that sounds like a Beatles record.
Right. Other than Maybe I'm Amazed.
Right. But that's one song.
One song out of all of it. Yeah. Because I never heard any heartbreaking downer stuff from John on a Beatles record. I heard negativity and sarcasm, but not tear at your heart stuff.
Yeah, and even the songs that were like In My Life or Help, I Need Somebody. It was
Right.
like Help. I need
It was in a happy
somebody.
tune, yeah.
I'm like help. Like
Yeah. Oh, he's
Right.
screaming primal screams here on this record.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Jeff. Hey, I really appreciate you joining us. Had a lot of fun. I would say let's do it again, but then that would really be like our third time. So for those just listening now, we went through this show the first time and didn't record.
Yeah. It's too bad you guys missed it. It was great.
The first one was just chef's kiss,
Chef's
right?
kiss.
Except on that one, we all said that Ringo had the best album. So I don't know what
Right.
happened.
Yeah. Something changed in between.
It's
Or time to-
somewhere along the line.
Thank you.
Well, it's
for
good.
having
It
me,
was
guys.
good to have a Beatles expert with us.
Yes.
I don't know about that, but
Oh.
I've given them a lot of money. That's for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
it's well deserved.
Probably all have.
Yeah.
One
over the
way or
years.
another.
I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks
Jim,
for coming on.
until the next time.
All right. We'll see you next Thursday.